Hey everyone, it is September the 11th, 2025. I was currently listening to Miss Wisdom Speaks Truth, and she was talking about this is going to be your last start over. And I have started over over several times in my life, and she's saying that this is going to be the last one, the last time you go all the way to ground zero and then have to rebuild from there. That's not going to happen again. So I have been actually inspired by her, listening to her glorious testimonies. I love the way, and she is such a good storyteller. I'm trying to work on my storytelling skills, but y'all know I got that little attention deficit thing where it's hard for me to stay on track. Some people love it, but some people don't like it. They want the condensed version, but I am the type of person that want to tell you all the details, right? Okay, so tonight I want to tell the testimony of losing my daughter. And just like the prodigal son, how God brought her back to me. So first, I don't know if you know me. If you do, if you don't, I am a single married woman. It's so crazy. It doesn't even make no sense. But my husband is incarcerated wrongfully in prison. So therefore, that's the married part. So I'm in something they call prison wife life, where we don't just leave our spouses because you take those vows for better or better. I'm sorry, better or worse. I'm sorry, I'm saying it backwards. Not better or better. It is not too much worse than prison, right? So if I just jump ship because he's wrongfully incarcerated, what did that relationship mean to me in the first place? So that's how I'm married. But then how I am single is because when you go through life as a prison wife, you're living in this real world out here on your own. That's why I called myself the single mother by force, not choice, because my husband was taken. It made me become a single mother overnight. And my husband was like the breadwinner of our household. He was taking care of things that I could not. And when they took that part of the support, like the cornerstone of the family started to crumble. It was like we were demolished. But I held on so strong that I just would not let go of him, right? So I am a single married person. It's crazy. Don't even make no sense. But with all of that said, I knew the day would come. I really did not think my husband would do that long in prison because, when you feel like somebody is, not just feel, I know for a fact, I have all the evidence, but nobody wants to hear it, right? So I'm taking the hint several years later and I'm trying to just let it go, let it be. But when somebody is wrongfully incarcerated, you do think that they're going to be released because they're not the one that committed a crime. So why would they have innocent people incarcerated? Kind of how I think I found my purpose, girl. But that's not this story. So I really did not think my husband would be gone that long. Like, I literally thought it would take a couple of years. If it was just going to take a lawyer, okay, give me some time to get my finances right. But I always just kept hitting roadblocks, and like how Wisdom Speaks Truth says, having to start over and over and over. It's like every time I thought I finally was going to, be where, what she's talking about tonight is being where you were originally supposed to be. God is restoring you to where you were supposed to be if the enemy had not obstructed you, had not obstructed justice in your life, right? He be obstructing justice. So and most of my life, I knew I was not living. It feels like I'm living a counterfeit life, like I'm living somebody else's life, because I'm like, this ain't what I saw. This ain't what God showed me. And I am not supposed to be begging, and I'm not supposed to be, robbing Peter to pay Paul. Like literally, if I told y'all the way I paid my light bill tonight, it is so embarrassing. It is so shameful. I'm not, after all, and after all the talents God embedded in me, I'm not supposed to be that low. But all that to say, I've struggled. I could not get him home. Justice is not as simple as 1, 2, 3, as showing and proving that, hey, he didn't do it. It's not like that in the real world. It is very much different, but that's the other channel. So upon me being a single mother and trying to constantly better myself, because I knew I was living this counterfeit life, but also trying to raise our daughter, to the best of my ability, to where I never wanted her to feel like she lacked something because her dad was taken from us. We did, however, raise her through prison visits together and expensive phone calls. So we did raise her together apart. That's another oxymoron. My whole life is an oxymoron. But I didn't want her to ever feel like she missed something. I wanted to get better. I was going to get lawyer money. We were going to be back together. And this was just going to be a speed bump or hurdle, or not a mountain, not the mountain that it's become. But faith of a mustard seed does move mountains. And that's what always kept me holding on, because it's this one little piece of faith I can't get rid of. If that last drop ever dries up, I could completely just stop. But it is something that will not let me let go. So fighting that, trying to get better, trying to raise our daughter to the best of my ability, it kind of is how I stayed in that relationship. It is now 23 years that I've been with him while he's been wrongfully incarcerated. I feel like we've been dragged through the mud. But that's how you stay so long, because of all those combination of things going, all those battles. I'm fighting like 3 to more battles, because I'm also fighting my body debilitating and things, my eyesight debilitating. So 4 or 5 tough battles. I'm fighting them simultaneously. And when you're in the fights of your life, you don't think about time. You're just trying to get through that battle to the other side, right? But time doesn't stop, so it's fleeting, it's passing you. So that's how people are like, how could you be with a man in prison for 23 years? And that's how, because I've had huge battles going on at the same, like war, not even battles. They're spiritual warfare. That's why they call it that, right? Simultaneously. But I knew that I had to get him home before our daughter was grown. I thought by 10, because he was taken from us when she was 9 months old, right? I thought by 10, he would get home and we could just get back to life. I know it's going to be hard. We're going to need some family counseling, but we can get past this. It didn't happen. Once you wait and you fight for 10 years, it's hard to leave somebody and say, okay, well, let's keep fighting till she's 18. 18, he still did not come home. She got through college. He did not come home. We had our 2 grandchildren. He did not come home. So right before our daughter, and I think this put a big hole in our daughter's heart by her father being absent. She knew him, and I always felt like it was my fault that I put this hole in her heart, because most times when people's people go to prison, they leave them. Not many stay around. I'm probably the only one sitting up here that just stayed around fighting. Not many people do that. So I felt like if I had not have stayed, she wouldn't know her father. Therefore, she would not have that pain. She would have the pain of him being absent from her life, but it wouldn't be the pain of, it's a different pain, right? So I felt like I put that pain in her life. So it caused her a lot of trauma. Okay. And I feel like because of that, she wanted a lot of women. Now, I cannot say from actual living through it, because I grew up with my father and my mother. And I can tell you I would not be the woman that I am without my father or my mother. So I can't tell you how it feels I briefly have a moment when my father worked in another state and he wasn't directly in my life for some years. But I can't tell you what it's like to grow up without your father. I don't know that. I don't. So I can observe from other women that a lot of them have issues about, they grow up with daddy issues or mother issues. And then they get into relationships because of the daddy issues. And I think that's kind of where my daughter, because your father be your first love as a girl, your father, right? And when that's missing, a lot of times you're not shown how to be loved, how you are supposed to act. You don't see your mother and father emulating and showing you, like, you're not seeing the model. You don't see it being modeled in front of you, right? I seen my mother and father getting up, going to work every day. I seen my mother and father going to church every weekend, Bible studies. I seen my father cutting the lawn, taking care of the house. I seen my mother paying the bills. So I seen it shown to me, right? But in our household, I couldn't show that to our daughter. So my daughter doesn't know her father free. She's visited her father from 9 months to 24 years behind prison bars. So I think it left her wide open. The enemy uses your hurt, your trauma, your pain. That is what he's really going to target in on to attack you. And I believe that's what he did. Our daughter did not even date through, which is so crazy, through middle school, through high school, she did not date. at all. Like, and she was a great student. She was in so many different, she was dual enrollment. She was in so many different clubs. She had extracurricular stuff because she was trying to go on her way to college. We had to make up for all that she could not have because her father was missing. We could not let her miss the mark and struggle in her adulthood. So she didn't date. She just didn't, right? It was one instance where she wanted to go to a school that another young boy was going to, but that didn't happen, and she quickly got over it. And then all through high school, there was no talk of her dating, none, until she went to prom. And she's like, I'm going with this boy. And because at first she was saying that's just my date. And then later she's like, oh, he's my boyfriend. So it was him. And then I didn't see her talking to anybody else for a while. And then all of a sudden, there's a new boyfriend. So my understanding, this is her second boyfriend. This was, is it 2020? 2020, I believe. This is either 2020 or 2021. During the, shutdown. Me and our daughter moved to a new apartment. We wanted to get out of the apartment we were in. We moved into this area that was, it's hyped up on the outside, but when you get in that area, you realize it's riddled with crime. It's bad. It's not what you think it is. It's overpriced because it's next to a big, nice, is by the luxury car lots, and it's by the big, nice mall, but it is a bad area to live in. It is very bad. So we thought we were moving on up, right? Me and our daughter. She did have a friend that would come over. I didn't care if her friends would crash over there or whatever. So her friends would stay over there much of the time. But for the most part, it was me and her. And I loved it. We were cooking together. My daughter is so into decorating. So she was like, this is my apartment. And I'm like letting her take the control because I love to see her happy because I know what she went through growing up. And it wasn't a lot. It was some smiles. It was some forced smiles, but not everything was happy. So to truly see her happy, you're ecstatic, right? So I'm like, this is do what you want with decorating. She decorated everything. Her thing then was red. Everything was color coordinated. It was a beautiful apartment and everything. I worked overnight, so I was not always in sight. Because I then got another job overnight at a theme park working in the laundry room. And I was in college myself. So I wasn't, but she's grown now. So I don't have to be all the time there. She's literally 18, 19. And what? Yeah, 18, 19, 20, right? So I don't have to be all in her face. She's grown. She's in college too. We both actually went to college at the same time at the same college. We just didn't graduate the same year. So she was good until she wasn't. All of a sudden, she meets this guy. I'm like, okay, you got a boyfriend? All right, I'm happy for you. I remember one night, and I would be up all night. I was in school for graphic design. I already worked overnight, so I am used to being up all night and then getting up crack of dawn trying to finish school. Like I would have to rush to class, and so I never slept. Again, another point in my time in my life when I did not sleep. And I noticed my daughter didn't come home. And when she came home, it was like 4 or 5. No, it wasn't even 4. Because 4, I might can see if you at the club or something like that. Like I gave a grace for going out to different parties and stuff like that. But That's a little too late. My mama used to put the alarm on me so she could know exactly when I came in. And she would be like, Keita, you stayed out that late. Wherever you went, you can stay there. She would lock the door. There was so many tactics to make me stay. Like, I literally had a curfew. So being raised like that, I'm not raised for a female to stay out all night. I don't, even if you are grown, you need to come home. She stayed out till it was like 5. I know the sun was up. It had to be about 5 or 6. And she's coming in. I'm like, what you doing? Like, why are you coming in this time of night? I said, you know what? Wherever, because repeat it. That's how I was raised. I'm going to raise you that way too. Wherever you've been, you stay there, because you're not going to be coming in this house that time of night. You're not going to be staying out all night. And she was kind of scantily clad. So I know you are not too much up to no good at that time of night. She, at that time, one of her friends were staying with us for a little extended period. They were going through risks with their parents, so their parent was basically the same thing. When a parent put their foot down, the child leaves, right? Or they just straighten up. I was the type that just straightened up. So he was basically, going through differences with his parents. But he wasn't her boyfriend. He was a friend. I actually would go to senior skip day with them. I hung out with them. Like, they all loved me. I was always the mom that everybody loved. Everybody loved Miss Dixon, right? And then when I hear Miss Dixon, it reminds me of my mother. When I hear someone say Miss Dixon, I quickly think of my mother, because everybody's like, Miss Dixon, Miss Dixon. Now I'm Miss Dixon. Crazy. So I'm like, you're not going to be staying out like that. So she left. I did not expect her to leave at all. I did not expect her to not return. And she left her friend in the house. But the friend was a big help to me, helping me cook, clean, doing different things, cook and clean and do everything. So, I mean, I didn't mind. Like, I don't, but she left and left her friend there. Like, what is she going through? So, how did I find out she was pregnant? That's probably a whole different story. But you already knew that was what was going to happen. As I'm telling this story, you knew she was going to get pregnant, because you're out there this time of night, whatever. But I was young once, and I'm going to say dumb once. And I understand that little love, and when you've never been in love before, and how you know what I'm saying? So I tried to have understanding, but still, I'm your mama. I got to answer to God for how I raised you. Like, I got to answer one day for this, and I got to do the best of my ability, right? So she ends up gone, and me and my daughter, this was a fear in my life. A fear in my life, because it was, if you heard the last story, my home life growing up was not the best. So I thought that when I created, the launching family, when you go out and you're the parent and children, it was like the enemy was able to destroy that before that could even start. So I came from a rocky home to a destroyed household, right? And all I had was my daughter. That's all I had. That is who made me get through most of this. I would have given up. I wanted to give up so bad. Y'all don't know how I wanted to give up. And the only thing that made me keep going was because I knew I had to survive for her. She already lost her father. I cannot let her lose her mother too. I had to keep going for her. That she's all I had. All I had was my daughter. We went, I'm telling you, like I went to senior skip day with them. I went everywhere. Like we were always together. And then she was gone. And me putting my foot down, she left. And I didn't talk to her. Like I used to talk to every single freaking day. Every day. Texting all day. As soon as I text, she texts right back. Like, so things started changing. And it was like she wasn't calling me. She wasn't replying back to my text. Sometimes it's 2 and 3 days. And the answer was always, Ma, I've been busy. I've been busy. I'm like, ain't nobody more busy than your mama. You ain't been that darn busy. It takes 2 seconds. Well, for me it don't, because I got a carpal tunnel. But it takes 2 minutes to text back. Like, you could have texted back. You could have said something. So I end up finding out that she was pregnant. She did not want to tell me. Matter of fact, I can't remember, but I think she told her father before she told me. And I always thought he was going to be home before things like this, because I always needed somebody to raise her with, to parent with. It was hard, just me. So she's pregnant now. And I'm like, all of the stuff that, I worked so hard for you not to come down this road. And here you are in the passenger seat with me. That struggle road. That single mother road. That hard as I don't know what. And then when you're young, I talk to her, I talk to him. And young people always give you the same answer. I'm going to figure it out. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. I even told my parents that I did figure it out. I figured it out. But it was hard as jail. And I know the pit that I lived in. And I know how I used to look up and hope and wish that somebody would reach down and just help me out this hole. Just give me a little bit of head up so that I could get through. And I didn't want my daughter to live that type of life. But here she goes down this same dusty road. I thought I failed. And I know I did the best I could as a mother. I know I could have did better if I wasn't so tired. I could have did better if I wasn't so pulled every way. But now she's pregnant. And I'm sorry to leave you on a cliffhanger there, but this is getting rather long. So I'll be back tomorrow for part 2. But at this point, I completely felt like I failed. Like how all the work I put into her, all the everything, and she still ends up a statistic like myself. I wanted better and different for her, just as I know my parents probably wanted. Now I know they probably wanted better and different for me. But we all, it seems like, have to find out the hard, long way. Wisdom is to listen and to learn from others, but we tend to not be like that. All right, guys, I will talk to you guys later. My hand going numb anyway.